Now, in my mind, I have two big questions to ask right now. Is this all-new Mercedes AMG GT going to make the Porsche 911 cry a lot? And my second question is this a real Mercedes? Very first impression of the Mercedes AMG GT is that it looks ever so slightly evolutionary to the previous generation AMG GT, and also with a twist of SLS, I'd say. Now, biggest difference is driver's seat and front passenger seat is directly in between the front wheels and the back wheels, because with the previous generation Mercedes AMG GT and the historic SLS, the driver's seat and the front passenger seat was always closer to the back wheels, so it had a very proud nose. Thank goodness Mercedes abandoned that concept, because for Mercedes it looked pretentious. Now it is right here things get very interesting. Compared to the Porsche Model 911, the Porsche Model 911 had everything mechanical situated at the rear. Its engine powered the back wheels because it itself had its engine in the back. For Mercedes, they always stuck to bread and butter basics. They never experimented with mechanics. They always had everything at the front. Whereas Porsche, on the other hand, historically had a very big problem with uneven weight distribution. But now, on the context of coupes, Mercedes had a very inconsistent history. One day they'll have a coupe, then the next day they'll discontinue this coupe in favor of another coupe with a completely different name. Now it is here in this context the Porsche 911 has an advantage, because they had the consistency. They stuck to that name for decades. Whereas Mercedes, when it comes to coupes, they haven't really stuck to a single name except the SL. But to be fair, nobody's talking about the SL anymore. From certain angles, my first impression is that it looks like an evolution to the Mercedes SLS, especially from the front. They've got no relevance with the Mercedes EQ classes or the GL, and thank goodness for this, because at the moment, the EQ classes and the GL, they look just like each other, and I absolutely am not a fan of this philosophy. Whereas what they did with the AMG GT is brilliant. It is beautiful. And yeah, as I mentioned earlier, 50-50. The driver's seat and the front passenger seat is directly in between the back wheels and the front wheels compared to the previous generation. And you get real air vents right here, nothing pretentious. And look at this nice grille right here. You get parking sensors at the front and at the rear, and you even get a 360-degree parking camera. Another thing to note is the door handles of the Mercedes AMG GT. It is just like other Mercedes cars. I personally just do not like those pop-out door handles. It's very fluffy, I'd say. Just too bulky and everything. Whereas with the Porsche Model 911, it's just better. I think Mercedes disagrees already. Now I have to wonder, why would you have fake vents right here? And along with that, you get another fake vent right here. As we approach the rear of the Mercedes AMG GT, we see a lot of evolution to the previous generation, but at the same time, I see a touch of EQ class to it. Look at the way they've managed to link the rear lights with this black, this piano black effect. It looks good. And I like the way they've gone about the rear lights. Now it is time to check out the interior of the Mercedes AMG GT. The exciting part, which I'm very much looking forward to. I look at the window buttons and already I see some EQ class vibe to it. Very interesting. But thank goodness they didn't fall down the same route as the handles with the EQ classes. And you see those proud carbon fiber effect already. Carbon fiber goes perfectly with the AMG. I can already confirm that. But I'm going to be honest. Audi seems to have better carbon fiber. Yeah. Okay, and when it comes to steering wheel, I already sense something. You see, the Porsche 911 has a better steering wheel than the Mercedes. The steering wheel at Porsche is just excellent. Whereas with Mercedes, anytime they give an AMG package to their car, or if you drive a car that's an AMG model, they tend to have thick steering wheels that are no. And already you get the Alcantara touch on the steering wheel as well. On the day when your hands are a bit sweaty, this can be annoying. No. And especially in long terms, it's not good for the Alcantara on the steering wheel. But then aside from that, I like the presentation of the steering wheel. It looks great. The pallets are excellent, nicely detailed. You can easily reach them from underneath or above. And I like the carbon fiber effect you get onto the steering wheel. Immaculate. That's great. The transmission is onto the steering wheel. Everything is at my reach, which is good. So if I, have my back onto the seat, I can reach everything here. Great. And you get this little fabric right here to put your wrist onto, just like this. You see, it's not a swivel wheel. Although I'm going to confess, Mercedes was amazing with the swivel wheel. It was great. Now they got rid of it in favor of huge tablets. Okay, never mind. You get a little storage space right here. There's a lot of Alcantara throughout the interior. It looks sporty, but in long terms, you just need to be careful because on a hot day when you're sweating, yes, just be careful with it. And by the way, the seats have a touch of leather on the side with the yellow stitching as well. Now, the seat belts are also yellow. How amazing is that? This is cool. It's very sporty. Another problem I've just noticed is most car manufacturers tend to have proud start-stop buttons, right? They have it at a conspicuous location, so somewhere here or somewhere onto the steering wheel. But Mercedes has it hidden almost underneath the tablet. You see, it's like from here, I have to look carefully to see that start-stop button. So yeah, just some little detail. And then another thing I would like to remark about the steering wheel is that at first glance, it is so busy. It is very busy, like so many things happening. So my only advice to you all is just study the car on the first day you have it, and then you'll master everything. For the rest, it is just like a Mercedes. For the rest, seating adjustment is right here onto the door. Steering adjustment is electric. That's great. That's amazing. Oh my gosh, it's like a fighter jet. It's slow, but it's like, you're getting ready for the battle. Another thing I love about this Mercedes SL, oh my god, I was about to call it an SL, AMG GT, is the fact that the bonnet is very proud. You see those ridges of the bonnet. Excellent. I love it. This is what I love about the real guns of Mercedes. The S-Class, the vans, and then also their AMG GT. It is serious business. It is not a joke. Yeah, I think this is great the way they've approached it. Glove box right here. Ooh, the glove box is tiny. Who said you get this car for practicality? Now it's time to check out the door bin. The door bin is very shallow, but then not surprising since you don't really get this car for practicality. 2 cup holders right here. That's good. Little charging port as well. No, yeah, charging ports down there. And I think there's a for your key or for your phone. Yeah, I think wireless recharge for your phone. Another advantage of this Mercedes AMG GT is that you get back seats as well. Now, to access the boot door of the Mercedes AMG GT, you have to pull from underneath here. And then just pull this up. Yep. This is the boot space of the Mercedes AMG GT. You can fold down the rear seats, I believe, pushing this. And you even get a 12-volt socket in there. And then a little hook. There are practicality solutions, I can give you that. And as for volume, it's good. Now, another thing to note is that the body paint sticks out very proudly, and there's a big elevation right here. So be very careful when lifting your luggage up, because the body paint sticks out very proud that if it gets touched, it'll be visible. So you have to be very careful. Here's my conclusion of the Mercedes AMG GT. I am very proud to tell all of you that Mercedes is back in town to scare McLaren, Porsche, and all the dream sports cars everyone loves. Mercedes has just released one of the best coupes I've ever seen in decades, everyone. My favorite Mercedes coupe was always the classic Mercedes SL of the 1970s and 80s. Since then, Mercedes kind of went down because they started looking like a coupe version of what the S-Class always was. But now, it seems like they finally are back on track. The SLS was pretentious in my opinion. The first generation Mercedes AMG GT was cool. It was like a rounded version of the SLS. But then at the same time, still pretentious because the back seat, well, I mean, the front passenger seat and the driver's seat was always more towards the back wheel. But now, Mercedes has just nailed it. Perfect. Everything symmetrical, right in between the front wheel and the back wheel. I just love it. I have only good things to say. But then it's not all pink roses. There are a couple of problems. Compared to the big competitor like the Porsche 911, the steering wheel of this Mercedes AMG GT is exaggeratingly thick. Whereas if you look at Porsche models, their steering wheels are perfect. near perfect. Nice to hold on to, nice grip. Whereas for this Mercedes AMG GT, I found something a bit exaggerating. Like, why do you need so much Alcantara onto the steering wheel? I just don't get that. If you are a Mercedes enthusiast, or if you are looking for a good sporty coupe with a conventional mechanical design with the engine at the front and giving power to all the wheels, this is the car for you. But if you seek identity, if you seek history, if you seek something that's more relatable, the Porsche Model 911 takes the trophy in that regard. But that's not to say that this Mercedes AMG GT is not relatable. That's instead just to say that I hope Mercedes remains consistent with the AMG GT. Not like, you know, today they call it AMG GT and then tomorrow they're going to call it a different name. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos that are on the run. And please let me know in the comment section, what is your favorite car in this segment? Is it the Mercedes AMG GT, or is it the Porsche Model 911, or is it a competitor that I haven't mentioned yet? Let me know.